And on this side with their team leader, Paul, we have Ben with Winston, the French Bulldog. We have Lucinda with Goose, the Cocker Spaniel. We have Tracy with Pika, the Staffordshire Terrier. And we have Tony with Missy, the German Shepherd. All these dogs are 6 to 7 months of age, that's all.
Yes, and on this side with their team leader who's helping them today, Emma, we have Imogen with Rumpelstiltskin, the crossbreed at the far end. Then we have Rebecca Grant with Chaos, and this is a Vizsla cross Rottweiler. You wouldn't think it, would you? And then we have Jeff with Alfie, the Cockapoo. And last but not least, we've got Angela with Fern to Whippet.
Our first pleasure of coming into the ring is, you know, that the handlers are playing with the dogs, getting the attention on them rather than on people around the outside. We're going to introduce the puppies to an unknown dog, so that, you know, some puppies get so excited they're likely to leap over an unknown dog, which is not on. Dogs that we would introduce would be fairly placid and fairly quiet, and so they're walking with the dog around the outside, and then they'll walk with the dog a bit closer.
And on this side, we're starting our puppies walking in a controlled manner. What we want to develop here is the building blocks to have nice social dogs that are more interested in their own family than everybody else that's out there in the world. Part of the thing we want to do with our dogs is take them out for a walk. So at the beginning, we want the dogs to walk with us in a controlled manner. Little bits and often, encouragement, talking to them, and they're getting praised for staying next to us. These dogs are going to grow up, and even the littlest one can give us a good yank if it doesn't walk properly. How's yours doing, Marcia?
Doing very well. The attention of the puppies on their owners was great, but with the unknown dog, they were not aware of it or didn't want to take any notice of it. What they're going to do now is continue playing, and the idea is obviously it's great fun to play with your dog and to move around, get lots of excitement, but then you need to be able to take the article away. And Tony with Missy got the dog to sit and calmly managed to take the article away. The others are practicing the same. The French Bulldog sitting nicely, hidden the article, and then start to play again. But part of the exercise is enjoy the playing, but be able to get the article away by using a command.
And we're doing handling and inspection. It's a fabulous way to bond with your dog. You need to look at the right equipment to use. So here we've got, with our Whippet, we've just got a mitt because that's what's necessary to brush and groom the dog. But we also need to be able to inspect every part of our puppy to be able to look after its health and welfare. Certainly, if our little Cockapoo there was out and about, it could end up with all sorts of brambles in there, and if you couldn't touch the dog, you'd never find them. We also checking between its pads, in its eyes, in its ears, in its mouth. The dog's supervising carefully that the thing's being done, but it actually loves it.
Over here we're beginning to teach the puppy positions, i.e. the control positions. So the puppy can be put in the sit, the down, or into the stand. Sometimes when you need to go to the vets, then you can get your dog into a stand position while the vet examines maybe bones. And obviously some of the breed dogs show in the breed ring, and they are expected to be taught to stand. So there are 3 positions, and if you watch to get the dog down, you push the hand down towards the floor, and the dog follows the hand and all the tidbits, and the dogs are down on the floor.
Yes, our Puppy Foundation is, as I've said, all about the building blocks for life and out and about. So it's about socialisation mainly, with many things. So on this side, we're doing socialisation with an unknown adult. Now, socialisation doesn't mean just letting the puppies go mad, and it doesn't mean they have to like strangers, but they've got to be able to cope these days when we take them out. So we teach them to accept a stranger, and if the owner says that the stranger can stroke the dog, then that's okay. But we move on very gently. It might just be that all they've got to do is cope with sitting next to somebody they don't know as a puppy, and then we build from there.
Over here we're teaching, or beginning to teach, the dog to stay in the position in which it's being put. 3 of them towards the back end of the ring have got the dogs in the down. They still have the dogs on the lead, and they're nice down, or telling them to stay. That is whatever command you get used to using, then use that continually. They're in a nice stay, and the shepherd is in a nice sit. Because they're puppies, you never extend it longer than a few seconds, and if they're successful after even only 5 seconds, go back and praise them in that position and release them. If you're expecting them to stay longer when they're puppies, then you're creating a habit where they start to break.
Oh, Marcia, this dog was frowning then because they're doing food manners, and he has to leave the food alone on the floor, and he's frowning and looking at it very carefully, and if he's really good and ignores it, he's being given it. What we want to do with food manners is make sure that the dogs don't snatch from us, that they don't snatch at it bit, because we can use that as they grow to make sure that they don't take food away from a passing toddler that just happens to have some food in their hand. Because at least if they've taught them not to snatch, they won't snatch from anybody. And also, not to pick up food from the floor unless they're told they can. So we're looking at food manners, and it's the very start of it.
Thank you, Chris. Over here, we've got nice loose lead walking. The handlers will be encouraging the puppies around, turning around, maybe having the hand close to the nose when they're training, maybe with a tidbit, or just pretending that the hand is there as a guide, that that's where they want the dog to be, quite close to them, walking alongside them with a nice loose lead. Notice the young German Shepherd. Our shepherds are used to looking around because originally, basically their inherent background is guard dogs. So they're always aware of what's going on elsewhere, but you need to get their attention on you. And then if you were coming to a curb, you pop your dog into the sit along the curb.
If we ever want to be able to take our dogs out and let them off the lead, they don't necessarily know what come means. Fido come. So we're encouraging the puppy under control to come with us. So we might start it by running backwards and calling our puppy towards us, because they will often follow movement. And then we're going to use voice and hands and food if necessary at first, and play to get that puppy to come back to us. And that's a lovely demonstration, but we've got the team leader holding on to it so that nothing goes wrong, because they're practicing and perfect. And as time goes by, we might do it on a longer line or let them off. But these are the very basics for young puppies.
Over here, we're doing the examination of the dog. It's most important that you look and check the dog's ears, inside the ears. In the summertime, they get grass seed, unfortunately, go into the ears, and they can work their way under the skin. And with puppies even as young as this, you just do a little bit at a time, look at their pads, their claws, make sure that the claws are not broken. Check in the groin area. If they become allergic to something, and some dogs are allergic to grass, then like us, it looks like dermatitis in the area, in the groin area where there's not a lot of fur. And you get used to it. Initially, your dog might say, I've had enough of this, but then nice quiet stroking, and it's a bit of a cuddle time, isn't it? you and your dog just sitting on the floor having a cuddle. Ah, yes, how lovely. And how good for us. Our blood pressure is much better when you can sit down, stroke quietly and have a cuddle with a dog. What else is there in life?
Absolutely, Marcia. And these puppies on this side have just had a bit of a game. They've been here all day. They've been working hard. They don't know they're working. They think they're playing. And what we're doing actually, although you wouldn't think they need it with the noises here at Crufts, we do socialisation with a noise distraction. So we've got a little cowbell that's being rung over here around the dogs. Different things to be able to get them used to other noises. So actually it would be done in a fairly quiet, calm environment at training at first. But these puppies have been going training for a little while and they're coping here so well today. But that's one of the things that they need to do at the Puppy Foundation.
Over here we're doing little recalls. Do you notice they have the dog away from them, just very quietly, go 2 or 3 paces, lots of excitement, and call the dog, and the dog will come to them. You can reward them with just a smile, a tickle under the chest, or a titbit, and the dog will come closer, or you can do 3 or 4 steps forward, and then back away and get the dog. And they come, if you can see, the dog's tails are wagging. Yes, I want to come to you. And again, lots of praise. Just lovely, lovely exhibition here.
Okay, now we've moved on to puppy positions. You might think, what on earth is that? Throughout their life, we may need to take the dog to the vet, we may need to check the dogs ourselves, and if we can get them to move from the sit to the stand, from the stand to the down, from the down to the stand, all of the different combinations of those things without stress, if we can teach them to do that, they'll cope at a vet's. So that was just a demonstration of puppy positions. However, I think we've come to the end of our display. So thank you to our team from this side.
Yes, the puppy teams, you're lovely, the puppies are good. Remember, they're only about 6 or 7 months of age, and how well they're doing. Give them a sign of applause, please. Thank you.
Okay, so please keep the applause going as the puppies leave the ring. Strange smells, strange sounds, strange underfoot. These pups have done extremely well, been here all day, all the heat. So applause please, they leave the ring. So that was a demonstration of the Puppy Foundation. We now have a demonstration at the top level, the gold level, and I'll hand you over to